Hey there, Michael.
Hello, David.
So today we're talking about the Numerati by Stephen Baker. Start us off by telling us who are the Numerati.
Well, they're not the Illuminati. The Illuminati is the world-controlling conspiracy, as we all know. No, the Numerati are the computer geeks, and they're the number crunchers, and of course the organizations they work for them. And they used advanced mathematics to predict our behavior by using data from really millions of sources. I mean, it's well known that we all leave a trail of data from our emails and cell phone calls and internet searches and credit card purchases, blog entries, social networking sites, security cameras. I mean, you name it. Now, if you pull all this together, you can create a digital portrait of any of us.
Now, with that information, businesses can tell me what movie I may want to watch next or which book I may want to buy next. Is that right? And on and on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's pretty old hat to target shoppers. But Baker goes on to explore how they can also target voters and workers and patients and clients of dating services and maybe even terrorists by analyzing statistical patterns of data. Now, he writes for Business Week, and he wrote a story about this, which turned into a cover story, and that gave him the idea to do this book.
You don't sound so enthusiastic, though.
Well, I think he might have maxed out his material for the cover story. You know, for instance, in here, there's a whole chapter on the National Security Agency's data mining, which is supposed to be turning up terrorist networks. I mean, it's really interesting stuff, and I guess they spend, you know, billions of dollars on it. But reading the chapter in the book, I really didn't learn a thing. I mean, he interviewed a lead analyst from NSA who described what they do in the most, you know, the vaguest terms, but no new light was shed. Now, I suppose that's not surprising. I mean, they're supposed to be top secret after all, but a whole chapter on that? I was left with the impression that, you know, any of us could turn up as a false positive. In other words, a potential terrorist in the way he described what NSA is doing to identify the bad guys.
So let's talk about that. Does he get into the privacy implications of using all this data to track and analyze people?
Yeah, he does, David, but I don't think he's got any real answers. He did point out that even if names are withheld by the Numerati who are analyzing us, we still can't stay anonymous. He says 87% of Americans can be identified by name if you only have their date of birth, their gender, and their zip code. He quotes a study that proves that. Now, one chapter that I did find a little disturbing was about companies with technology installed to monitor email. Now, they're supposed to be looking for, you know, spam or porn or people giving away the company's secrets, but they can also use it to see, I mean, what people are thinking, who they're talking to, whether they're productive or not, whether they're bypassing the chain of command. I mean, I think if companies are monitoring your every keystroke, I mean, you probably want to think about working somewhere else.
So you've told us a couple of things you don't like so much about the book. What did you like about it?
Well, I like the title. It's a really cool title. I also like, I mean, he's an accomplished magazine writer, and this has a good, light, breezy magazine style. I mean, it's only, you know, 200 pages. If you want a first look at this area, yeah, this is a good place to start.
So final verdict, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Well, as much as I liked the title, I wasn't overly impressed with the book. You know, from a business perspective, Tom Davenport's book, Competing on Analytics, is better, although I always accuse Tom of pulling his punches and not telling us as much as he really knows. And for a good overview of this whole area, well, you know, I really like Super Crunchers by Ian Ayres. So this one, Numerati, it's a split decision. I'll give it one thumb up and one thumb down.
Good enough. Michael, thanks as always.
My pleasure, David.